started on St. Patrick's Day. A friend of mine and I were down at the parade. We went to a bar and an Irish fellow was singing Irish songs. His name's John McDonald and he is my co-founder. He is now living in Florida. But after he sang a few Irish songs, it was like, you know, I'm really tired of this. Does anybody know Jimmy Buffett? Is anybody a Parrot Head? And I said, oh, I am. So he sang a few Buffett songs, came over and sat down at the table and said, would you be interested in starting a club with me? He said, there is actually a worldwide club called Fins, Parrot Heads in Paradise. And we got in touch with the guy who ran the Atlanta club. He sent me all the information, and that's when we did the Trop Rock. We planned that to get people to come and join the club.
We saw an ad for a cruise on the Gateway Clipper, sponsored by the Pittsburgh Parrot Head Club. And we were just intrigued. It sounded like a lot of fun because we were already Buffett fans. And it turned out it was a lot of fun. And we just went from there with it.
Okay. Well, the other thing too is, while he was reading the Sunday papers when he saw it, while we were sitting on our boat named the Lost Shaker of Salt. So it kind of just fit.
We do party with a purpose. Everything that we do as far as fundraisers go is tied with some kind of event, and we really do raise a lot of money for a lot of different organizations.
So I first met the Steel City Fins when planning the Southside Summer Open, which was a fundraiser for class. We needed about 70 to 80 volunteers to make the event a success. And we were looking for people who were responsible and able to kind of keep track of everybody throughout the day. We were having a lot of problems recruiting volunteers, so one of our board members, Sally Baylog, came up to us and said, hey, I have this group of people that can really help out if you really need us. And we, for a minute, were a little hesitant because we really need people who are responsible. But both Sally and her husband John kind of laughed at us and said, well, most of us are over the age of 50. We think we're pretty responsible and we'll be able to help you out.
We heard that they were short on volunteers, so we decided to try to help, and it ended up we sent Al Condalucci to one of our meetings, and Al can be a little charismatic, and the next thing we know, there's an information sheet turned into a sign-in sheet, and we had about 30 volunteers that night. So
Al didn't know. He just thought the sheet was just making its round for people to see what it was all about. Instead, they had turned it over and started signing their names to volunteer.
Since the beginning, we've supported organizations like Make-A-Wish, MS Society, CLASS now, the Salvation Army, Alzheimer's Association, JDRF, Wings for Children, Angel Tree programs, really. And what kind of makes it nice with those fundraisers is before we have the fundraiser, we take a poll within our group, within our club, and we ask what organizations locally would you like us to support. So every year our Cabin Fever Party supports a different organization, and that really comes from our club members who say, I'd really like to support this organization this year. Most recently it was Pennies from Heaven, and it was just somebody had heard about them and heard that they needed help. So that's what really sets us apart, because we're in the Pittsburgh region. We help local organizations and help so many of them.
You will never have a more fun meeting than if you attend the Steel City Fins meetings. They're a mix of mission and fun. For example, they do different fundraisers for different organizations throughout the years. For class alone in our MSES program, the Multiple Sclerosis Exercise and Support Program, they've raised nearly $30,000 over the years to help with the efforts to help us meet our mission. They're a great organization, and they help support so many different organizations throughout our region. The Steel City Fins are clearly an asset to our community.
On the surface, we looked like a bunch of people that just party, but once you find out about us, you realize all the volunteer things we do and all the fundraising we do. We do pub crawls. We do one in the spring, one in the fall, and we do another event called Cabin Fever. We hold it generally out at Beaver Falls. There's I believe it's a Ramada now, but it's fully enclosed with a pool, and we bring in a band and a DJ at least, and it's become a 2-night affair. And what we do is we have a lot of fun, but we generally raise about $7,000 or $8,000 in that event for a given charity, and that does change every year.
Congratulations to the Steel City Finns. I can't think of a more deserving group that likes to party with a purpose. Fins up.